Currently have $1.10. Whoops. $1.10 there. I'm in the Elite League, ranked 158th. It goes beginner, amateur, expert, elite, professional, veteran, all-star, master, challenger, champion, world class, and legendary. I was professional last week, but I got demoted. They recently implemented the system where you could buy crowns, crown boosters. So I'm just going to change my name here. So I raise 20.52% of the time. I fold 28.56% of the time. I played 25,417 hands. I win an average of 72 cents per win. And my winning percentage is 27.37%. My winning percentage was as high as 32% after 8,000 hands, but the last 17,000 hands it's dropped down, which doesn't make sense because every 1,000 hands I get better as a player. Every session you should. If you play a long session, half-hour, hour-long session, you should grow as a player. The better you are, the harder it is to grow, don't get me wrong. If you're a beginner player, you can never go wrong with jamming with pocket aces pre-flop, because you're either a favorite or tied for a favorite. So when you're the favorite, ideally you want to put the most money in possible. But against higher quality players, you can't always jam your aces because they fold a lot of the time. But at the beginning tables, people call often. At this limit, they could call with 6-9. They could call with king. I love getting lucky, don't get me wrong, but I love urban pot. Especially hands that I have no business playing. I love it. So there was pretty dangerous because I had top pair, but any pocket jacks, pocket queens, pocket kings, pocket aces had me dominated. 2 pairs or sets. So when you get a top pair, especially a middle top pair, you should proceed with caution. The higher the top pair is, like if you have kings and with an ace kicker, that's pretty good. But every once in a while, you do run into pocket aces and get destroyed. King 10's a pretty disappointing hand. You think it's good, but it disappoints you way too often. Doesn't mean you can't win with it though. But if I play 2 bad cards, I'm going in it with the possibility of bluffing if the opportunity arises. But whenever you bluff, you gotta be able to pull the parachute. And pull the trigger. Sometimes you need to bluff more. Sometimes it's like, okay, he's gonna call. So save your chips and save face. Ideally fold so they can't see your cards. So I'm glad there's several dollars at the table here. I don't always like playing as the underdog, but it's more challenging, so it gives you more experience. Ideally would be a player that has position over me. I mean, they have position over me, but they have more money than me and they're a higher level. Because it would be more challenging. I don't want to face it all the time, but at lower stakes, you want to play against higher quality opponents because you could grow faster and it's cheaper. Higher stakes, you play against higher caliber opponents, but it's costlier. Well, I didn't get lucky. Every once in a while it works out for you beautifully where you're bluffing and then you end up making the hand on the river. Then you go from trying to bluff them out of the pot to trying to get paid. And what I love about Texas Hold'em is no limit. Being all in, which is awesome. At lower stakes, it gets used way too much. People jam way too often. But every once in a while, it could be used masterfully. And it's awesome. Because it works every time until you get called. So it is successful. It's something that... It's having the balls to do it, but... But if you jam, if you haven't played for a long time, and then you just decide to go with the hand jam, you might get a fold. Usually you get a fold. And then if you jam again, you might get a fold. But then if you wait for a good hand, you're likely to get called. And then you could double or triple up. Happens every once in a while where a guy, he's calling with jamming with garbage hands. I'm waiting for a good hand. And then, so I call him, but then he has a monster that time. But the general rule of thumb is if they're jamming all the time, just sit back and watch them implode. Very rarely, only once did I see a guy jam every hand and continue to win in a tournament. The guy knocked out so many players, it was brutal. He would lose pots, but he always just kept on winning. Most of the time, they end up, they start jamming within 5 minutes. They're no longer at the table. They fizzle out. another skill to have in poker is learning how to master your table image. So if you're known as a bluffer, then you want to tighten up and make a few hands. On this side, I don't like it. You can't show your cards. So it takes an element of psychology out of the game, which I don't like. Because if I could show my winning hands, if I could show my losing hands, then I could use that. That's a psychological edge for me. I could use it to gather information. So it's one flaw about the game. This side I don't like. Because people show their cards and you could gather information, and very few know how to use that to their advantage. So, which is great. Especially if you get the table, if you're showing hands all the time, then maybe they start showing hands. And then you gotta peek behind the curtain and then reveal their weaknesses, basically. So I love it. I wish they had it. I'm gonna make a poker app one day, taking different aspects that I like from different poker software, because I played probably about 10 different poker sites now, and so there's things that aren't trademarked or licensed that I like. So I want to make She jams, I'm folding. No, I'm calling. I should have folded. I should have known better. It happens on the site way too often where I earn a bunch of pots. Earn several dollars, and then hands that should win end up losing. I was an 80% favorite there. He had 2 cards in the deck to hit other than straights and flush possibilities, and I lost, so it's frustrating. Especially $3. If I seen the flop, I probably would have lost it all in the flop. Because he probably would have jammed and I would have called him. So at least I put my money on the best of it. That's all you could do. But Kings is a very disappointing because it gives you so much confidence. Because it's a strong hand. We thought the second strong is, so. And a lot of beginning players don't know how to fold them. They're pocket aces and pocket kings. They kind of hang on to them too long. But they have about an 80% win-in rate pre-flop. Well, aces does anyways. So that means 1 times out of 5 you're going to lose with it over once you see the community in. So ideally you're folding 20% of the time. Yeah, that's really disappointing about the poker things. That $3. It's now down to 30 cents. It's so frustrating because when your instinct's telling you something, your instinct's not always right. If it was always right, I would have folded. Because I had a bad vibe that I was going to lose, and it turned out I was right. So if I would have listened to my instinct, I would have folded. But it's hard because it's like, well, I got kings still. Not the resolution. I'm the favorite. But I got to get better at trusting my instincts because the last 4 times I made an instinct decision. 3 times I would have been right. And I would have saved myself probably $8. But sometimes you got to see the cards, which is frustrating. It's a beautiful hand that's very disappointing. I almost never win with them. Even though the 7's gonna come this time. Hopefully I got a good hand and I make a lot of call. Hopefully everybody calls and I win. short stack, you're always hoping when you're big blind to get pocket aces that hold up. My favorite hand is any two cards that win. So 8-9 or king queen. Would be the hand that I want. As you can see, at this limit, he basically threw up a Hail Mary. He had 5 deuce. Probably thought I had the ace at least. Thought he had no chance of winning. But every once in a while you do. That's what I love about this game. Like, chess is awesome because you could, if you're better than somebody, you could win all the time. Almost all the time. But there's no chance factor. So the chance factor is awesome because in poker, because you could play against a higher caliber player and learn from them, because sometimes you get lucky and you reveal how they play and develop a strategy. Whereas in chess, if they dominate you, chances are they're not going to be like, okay, this is how it is all the time. So it's much harder to figure out their strategy. Even though you could see all the pieces in chess, whereas in poker, you can't see the cards. So ideally, there would be a little bit less chance in poker. Maybe if it was about 10% chance, then it would be good. Because then, if it's 90% skill, that means, because as it is now, players can do sprints, but in a marathon, they're going to make more mistakes than you over, say, 1,000 hands, 10,000 hands, etc. Or over a session even. You could sit down with somebody and they might get the better of you a couple times, but then as time goes on, you gain momentum and you start figuring out their strategy, and then you get your edge back. I'm getting pretty good. People outplay me in hands, but they don't typically outplay me in sessions, which is good. It's not too often anyways where I'm like, okay, that person, there's the better player. I feel like I'm at least equal. Sometimes the underdog, don't get me wrong, but most of the time I'm pretty confident, and usually when I lose, it's luck. It's not too often that I lose when I'm being outplayed. Every once in a while, because it's part of the game. It happens. I lose to runner all the time, but I rarely win runners because I don't have to see the fire. I smell the smoke, so I get out of the hand before, most of the time before I hit the runner. It's like what the pocket things are. It's like if they jam and fold in, but at the last second I decided to fold. So I was 90% folding. But it was almost like me throwing up a Hail Mary because I wasn't too confident in it. I'm just going to go to the lobby here because I don't even know how much money I have left. So the 51 cents, okay. I play slightly different if I know I'm risking it all compared to if I know I have money in the bank for a rebuy. Sometimes you especially in tournaments, I don't recommend it so much in cash games, but you make information calls to keep them honest. Good luck me. That's what I'm talking about. I get unlucky lots. Nice, I just won 11 cents. So let's see how the lucky diamond goes. I'm shooting for 40 cents. And a full house. I've yet to hit a full house. Playing the site for 3 months. At this point, though, I don't think I'm ever going to hit the full house higher. I had about 100 flushes, maybe. And 0 full houses. Okay, so that should be pretty good. I got 48 cents. So I like this so far. There's not anybody with $6 at the table. Because I may need to bluff at some point, and I only have 48 cents. When somebody has $6, making a small, say, 8-cent, 12-cent bluff. Fold. Didn't really want the call, because then it most likely would have been a flip. Best case scenario, he would have only had 3 outs, plus any straight or flush draws. And I wasn't too confident with it. That's why I jammed. I was hoping to win pre-flop. It all comes down to next hand, basically, because I only got 16 cents, so I may fold. But if it's halfway decent, I'm pretty much all in. Fold. almost no chance of winning if that went to a decision, so I had to try to win it. It's hard when you don't win those critical flips, but you gotta try to earn pots. So might as well see with Lucky Diamond if I can get the full house. I got 270 points. I don't know how people get 52,000 points. They must save up their diamonds for months. So I'm gonna play till the swap goes up to 10. Okay, so then. So I watched some ads, and you get daily money after a period of time. So I got 49 cents. So see if I can run it up to about $6 in the next 15 minutes. That'd be pretty good. Anything more than that would be spectacular. So that works out. I never know what I'm gonna do until I do it. Because information always changes. Not confident with the top pairs, so. There's a lot of level 2s, amateurs. It's hit or miss. Amateurs, they could have just not had the experience playing yet, time-wise, because everybody starts out in the beginner amateur. So since I'm out of the pot, I'm trying to peek behind the curtain and weaknesses in their game. Since they're concentrating on other players and they're not concentrating on me. Especially do that at the casino. If you're playing online. You could be doing whatever you want to be doing. But I assume people are always paying attention. Since they're all lower league than me, I give them respect because you never know. They could be really good players and they just didn't put in the time yet. And even bad players shock me sometimes. But over the long run, the higher rank in league you are, the fewer mistakes you should make. You could get your bad calls down to say maybe 10 over 1,000 hands, you're probably a phenomenal player. So at first it'd be like, oh, okay, well, 10 out of 100 hands, and then build up from there. So I might lose this smaller pot, but I might win a bigger pot off this guy. since they're amateurs, not all the time, but more often than not, they're probably jamming with really good hands. It could have been a low pocket pair, which isn't really a good hand, but it's probably a leading hand pre-flop. But they could have had ace king. They typically play pretty straightforward. Throw curveballs at them, and they don't always hit them. So since I lost with kings, I'm apprehensive. I'm glad I didn't lose there. So since I'm gonna call, I might get lucky. It's better off for me to jam. I got a crown. So he may jam again. Now it's pretty good pot odds, so I'm gonna call. 16 cents to win 60, so. And you could always get lucky. I'm gonna gamble. I don't normally gamble, but I was hoping once all the community cards were revealed, I would either hit the 5 or the king. I don't mind gambling every once in a while when I'm up in profit. I never gamble when I'm when I'm behind. Almost never. If the answer's never, then it's a weakness in your game. In poker anyways. So I'm gonna gamble. I'm probably behind. Could have had any two cards at a higher stake game. It's a little bit more legitimate. Don't get me wrong, people throw curveballs, but when you're risking $100, you don't do a 7 deuce too often unless you're rich. My game, I know when I'm gambling, most likely, and when I'm ahead, most likely. See, I don't like this. If he jams, but I'm gonna see a flop at least and evaluate my situation from there. Quite a few outs there. Missed everyone. So this will be the last end of the video. I guess I'll play one more round since I already invested a big blind. Possibly could have got him to fold with the bet, but he could have had a flush draw, so I don't want to risk it. Or it could have been a winner. So I finished with $1.70. If you Google computer assisted telepathy YouTube, it comes up with this video. Basically, it's possible people are able to influence decisions remotely by tuning into your brain's frequency, hearing your thoughts, implanting thoughts. It's almost like a radio station. People could phone in. So go to www.change.org/technology. It's a petition I started here. Basically, we're made up of water. Water conducts electricity. Therefore, we can be hacked. If you've ever got shocked, you know this. And it's based on this patent here. Basically, different biosensors could be implanted, and people are able to view it over the cell phone. And if you see by the cell phone in the picture here, it's an old technology. So nowadays it's nanotechnology. So you breathe it in, it's absorbed through your skin. Sometimes you feel pricks, sometimes you hear clicks in your ear. We eat it. So basically, human free will's at stake. People are able to hijack other people's bodies and violate them. And it's only a matter of time before it all comes crashing down for them. So take action by signing the petition, sharing it on social media. Contribute about $10 to get it on the agenda in your country. So a government task force could be set up with civilian and military oversight committees. Anyways, thanks for watching. Have a great day.